In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create more complex forms. The idea here is that we can see what are the courses that a student has enrolled or not enrolled, basically where they have shown interest or have paid for the enrollment of the course, but all of it just in one form. To do that, I will have to create a subform. So one is linked to the next. The principle is something that you already know. You remember those tables are already linked. So I have a form based on the students. So my idea is to have another form that jointly will show information about the enrollment table and the course table. And these are linked together. So this enrollment will have in common the ID, student ID with the student ID in the enrollment table, and the course table will have in common the course ID in the enrollment table. So they have these fields that they share in common. So through those fields, through those links, I can navigate through the values of all these tables. So that's the principle. So in here, first thing I want to do is to create a form, an enrollment form that will show me as well the course details. So to do that, I'm going to go to create, I'm going to go to form wizard, sorry, and from one wizard I'm going to choose, click in table, enrollment, beg your pardon. I'm going to select enrollment ID. I don't really need it. I need a student ID, yes, because that's the one that's going to be linked to the other form. I need course ID because that's the one that's going to be linked to the courses. Application date, maybe I want to show that. Enrollment, what has been enrolled or not, and the payment. Now, next, I want from the courses, I want the course reference because that's going to be linked to course ID, title, and price. Yeah. So I'm going to click next now. Next. And yeah, I'm happy with that. That's all the information I want. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to have that in a datasheet. Why? Because I want that information to show up in here in rows. Yeah, one row, another row, rather than in one form, another form. This makes it more awkward. So rather a datasheet. So next, and in there I'm going to create the name. So that's the thing is going to show up on top the title of the form. Course enrollment. I'm going to put in here course enrollment. Yeah, and finish. And that's the form in itself. I said data sheet, but that's what you have. Now let me see. I'm going to make this. Fine, so far I'm okay with this. So let me see what it looks like. I go to view, course, yeah, that. Fine, I can see there that I want to make some changes in here. One of the changes I want to make is, for instance, this one. I don't want to see this on this box. I want to right click. I want to see that, but in a combo box. So I'm going to click the combo box, and now that has been converted into that. Same thing with the course ID. I will show you why later on. Course ID, I want to change that, and I'm going to change it. First, I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to change it so that I can select course ID on a drop down. So to do that, I'm going to right click, change to combo box. Yeah, and that combo box, let me see, I'm going to have the properties in here. That property, yeah, course ID row, is a query from the table, and the table is going to be based on is courses. Yeah, courses is the raw source for that one. So what I mean is when I go here and I go to this view, I go to this form view, and I click in here, I have the different courses ID available. Yeah? That'll be simpler when I start enrolling students. So rather than me having to type, I just need to select. It's a sort of validation. I can only select the ones available, so that avoids any confusion. Same thing I want to do with here. I'm going to change that enrollment. I want to make it a drop down, so I'm going to right click in there, change to combo box, and now it's also a drop down. So let me see how this looks like. Font type, yeah, okay, great, good, okay, I'm happy with that, and those in there, fine. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna click in there, and just mainly I'm gonna press Control. Just want to make it a little neater. So I'm gonna select that. Oh, well done. Select that and fill these labels. Yeah, and all that. Yeah, any better? Right. So that's that. So I'm going to save that. Yeah, save it. You close it as well. Will be save. Yeah, close, save. Now in student form, I want to show that underneath. To do that, I go on again, sign view, and in the sign view, I'm going to make more room in here, more, and here, we have plenty. Okay, so now what we need to do is I go to the sign. In the sign, I click in here, select subform, subreport. What I want is a subform. Click in there, and I'm going to draw the space where I want this subform to appear. Here. Yeah. Maybe it's too much, but we can always reduce the size later. Okay. So now, what do I want here to show? Use an existing table or query? No, I want to use an existing form, the one I just created. Yeah, cost form. Next. And they ask me, what is the link between the master form, as it were, this one, the student, and this other form? Well, I'm going to define my own. And that is going to be the student ID, and the student ID is going to be equal to the student ID in the enrollment report. And I'm going to click next. And what do you like this to appear? This is going to show up in here, yeah? So course enrollment, I'm happy with that. Course enrollment, say finish. And if I were to click on view, yeah, this is what you have. Yeah? Isn't this neat? Now if I were to move to another student, click in here, yeah, see the information changes accordingly. So it's a nice way of navigating and to see the records, the enrollments that correspond to one student. I'm going to make this even nicer. So how? I'm going to go to here, click in here, because I want to make this, you cannot see the price. Here is the price. But actually, before I see the price, there are things in here that I don't actually need. So course reference and course ID are the same. So I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to say hide. Yeah, I don't see that. Enrollment ID, I don't need it. Why do I need enrollment ID? So yeah, I'm going to hide that too. And the student ID, well, I know the student ID from here, so kind of repetition, isn't it? So I'm going to remove that too. Yeah, hide. So that looks much neater now. There. Here we have now, let me see, one day I'll get this right, promise you. Yeah, you have as well a repetition here, course ID, course reference, so I'm gonna, there, that's the one I just hide. Look, this is when you know that you have to go home because you're working from home. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to finish this one, then I'm going to head home. Now, the good thing about this is, as I was saying, is that you have all the information available to you in just one form. So you don't need to go from jumping from one form to the next or jumping from different tables, and that's what it makes this much nicer. For instance, if I were to enter a record, and that makes life easier for you, another enrollment for this gentleman Joe, or let's have another one. Let's have this one. Our friend Mr. Coleman wants to join trekking, so I go here and I go, okay, trekking in there. He's gonna join the course walking the dog, and the price he's gonna be paying is £60. For now, he hasn't enrolled, hasn't paid, so I'm not gonna put anything in there, but he has applied today, so I'm gonna put today's date, yeah, and that's it. Now he's part of your record. So you go back, you go there, yeah, and there is Mr. Coleman walking the dog, yeah, and that makes it much easier to see, to enter data and to view. Next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add a few buttons in here to navigate through the forms, to print the forms, and